everyone. I'm here with Greg Zembower. Greg, you're a real estate agent. What company are you with right now?
Iron Valley.
So ironically, Greg, you started out as a realtor with our team, didn't you, a few years ago?
I did.
So we got to work together for a few years and learn from each other. And so, just because you're not on our team anymore doesn't mean we don't work together, right?
That's absolutely correct.
So we're sitting here in, this 7 Ronald in Mechanicsburg.
7 Ronald Road. Spent a lot of time in this house.
You did. So
I did.
We have a program that works with realtors where realtors bring us deals and we make it easy. What we buy from you, we give you an extra fee on top, and then you get a referral fee on the back end. Is that how it all works?
That's worked for me. So the history of this house for me is, and I'm glad you guys got it because there were multiple people bidding on these, and I knew you would do the best job on this. So I spent a lot of time in this house. So it has some memories for me. Of course, it didn't look like this.
Yeah.
And it had gotten in tremendous disrepair because it was my, one of my best friends growing up, and both his parents had passed away. Then his brother one of his brothers who had inherited it passed away, and he was physically and mentally challenged and therefore couldn't keep it up and ended up going to a home. So the place just really went downhill fast. And quite frankly, I was looking at it kind of wanting to flip it myself. Yeah. And I just looked, I said, this is just too much of a job for me. I don't have the expertise to do this.
Yeah.
I flipped houses myself. I have some Airbnbs.
Yep.
But too much work for me. So this is absolutely amazing what it looks like. It's great. And I keep sending pictures to my buddy who lived here.
Yeah.
And he's stunned.
Have you gotten him to come back here?
He hasn't come back since it's been finished. I want him to come back up here.
Is he close or no?
He lives in Olney, Maryland.
Okay. It'd be awesome if you could get him to see this one. But this one closes, I think, Meg, when does it close this month?
I think it's end of September.
End of September.
Yeah, I'll try to see if we can get him up here before
he can stay here if he comes.
Okay, I'll say something to him.
Yeah, there's a bed back here now. He could stay here.
So it's not a staging bed? It's a real bed?
It's a real bed.
Is it?
A real bed.
Okay.
So you when you were growing up, you spent time in this house.
Oh yeah, all the time. And
I assume the ceiling in the back room wasn't falling down.
No.
I mean, this house this one had a fair amount of mold in the basement that we had to deal with, right?
This house was a project.
Yeah.
First, it needed a new foundation. There was wallpaper everywhere, mold everywhere, rotted floor joists everywhere. Like the framing itself was rotted. There was a huge hole in the back room here, and water was just pouring in. There was a little weird pattern bathroom, and that had flooded, and just water sat, and nobody took care of it. So it was just mold damage, and it was a pretty big task to bite off. The wiring was really bad. I mean, it needed everything.
Yeah, this is a new house. I mean, basically, this is almost a new construction.
I'm blown away with what Meg can do. She blows us away every time, and I don't play a role in any of this. Any of this design stuff you see, that's all her.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's what you posted that before.
Yeah,
so.
she does it.
It's absolutely great. Colors are great. Everything's great.
Which one caught on fire? Was that this one?
This is this one.
So this house so after we bought it?
So the day that we bought it, we closed. The very next day, I had roofers here, and we were installing a new roof. And I had kind of budgeted for maybe 10 to 15 sheets of plywood. It ended up being 53 sheets of new plywood that went on this roof.
Oh,
it was insane. And they were banging that out, fine, whatever. Roof's done. It was like a Friday afternoon, and I get a phone call from one of the guys, and they're like, the bathroom's on fire. What?
I hadn't heard that story.
Yeah, so this bathroom, the wiring caught on fire, and it just completely up everything.
So the fire company had to come?
So the fire company did not come. The guys were here. They took it out. They got everything. But we ended up having to put all new drywall, all new insulation, rewire.
Oh no!
All of it.
Had no one been here, we would have lost the house.
Yeah, right.
Which wouldn't have been good.
No.
I was freaking out because I was like, oh my gosh, I just threw this new roof on, and like a couple of days later we have this. But it didn't get to that point. So.
No, well, that's good.
But it was nuts.
It was definitely scary.
Yeah.
So typically, I mean, I can't remember looking back a house that we had $165,000 budget for a remodel. I mean, typically we don't do that.
Right. Well, and you got two houses in this deal.
Oh yeah,
right?
tell us about that.
Yeah. So my buddy, who I grew up, coming to his house, who grew up here, his brother eventually moved down the street. So unfortunately, he passed untimely too. So my friend ended up inheriting both houses at the same time.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of a two-for deal for you guys.
Yes.
And he wanted to get rid of them both, so you got them both.
Yep.
Which was great. And, I was just down at the other one, so it looks great too.
It's coming along.
Yeah. So it's... And the people in the neighborhood are certainly going to appreciate the upgrades.
We haven't had any issues with neighbors. They've been pretty easygoing.
Great. Yeah, they've been really great.
Up,
Surprisingly.
So how was it easy? So you ended up working with my brother Mike. I connected you to him.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
was it easy? Did he do everything he said he was going to do to you on this deal?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I did nothing.
But you got paid
Yeah.
when he said he was going to pay you, and
Yeah, it was just a lead. I mean, I was just like, but I really wanted you guys to, I'm glad you guys got it, because I really wanted you to get it, because I knew you would do a good job and make it look fabulous. So
Well, we did some math. I think, how many people worked on this, like got paid on jobs? Was it over 50?
It was over 50.
50 people benefited from having a job here. And we're having trouble finding flips. So you severely helped us, and you severely helped 50 other people. So you're making a difference. And then I think we're helping the neighborhood. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And like I said, I find a lead. Now, the great thing is for me, when I go on listing appointments, I can offer somebody, hey, let's say you want to list a house. I suggest what kind of work they should do to it. Some people don't want to do any work. If they don't want to have anything to do with it, then I have an alternative option. I can say, hey, listen, I can get you a cash buyer.
Today.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just have them call you. They'll come over and look at it and offer cash on it. So it's a win-win. It's a big win for the seller.
Yeah. No inspections, no delayed. It just closes in 2 weeks.
Close in 2 weeks. Get the cash. They're gone. They don't have to put any money into it. If they want to do the work I've asked them to do, of course, you know how it is. Everybody doesn't want to do any work, but they want to get the maximum price for the house. So, that's a kind of a dance that you have to have with the customer or the client as to, how much money you want to put into this. I'm doing that right now with a house I'm listing, so I've got them convinced a little bit on some of the things, but some of the things they don't want to spend money on. So, it's just a great opportunity for anybody who's listing to have you as a backup. On the cash side. I mean, it's great.
And you just... We had a very tight margin on this one because we ended up competing. We didn't want to go as high as we did, but we ended up doing it, and it's going to work out. But you never know when that market's going to turn. Like this is
that's why you got to get it done fast, right? Because you don't know when it's going to turn.
I think she did this. This is a $165,000 remodel. How long did it take you?
11 weeks.
11 weeks. That's like incredible.
Yeah.
Is that 14 or 15,000 a week, or is more?
It's roughly 14,500.
14,500 a week. That's amazing.
And that doesn't count the other one either.
Nope.
That one's almost done too.
Yeah.
Did it simultaneously. So the guys started on that one, and then they bounced over to this one, and then if I had, drywallers over here, I had painters over here, if I had flooring over there, just kind of followed behind each other. So
nice thing is they had a short drive, or they could even walk.
So it worked out really well.
So they couldn't be late.
But that one over there, the foundation was a lot worse over there. So this foundation only took like 2 weeks or so. That one took almost 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So that kind of held up a lot of things because we couldn't finish drywall, we couldn't do painting, we couldn't do floor until till the foundation got done. Because our foundation guy, he put support beams all the way around the whole property because he was really afraid that the brick would crumble and we would lose the brick.
Oh yeah.
And other different things.
Extra work.
Yeah, so he put those foundation walls up, which means like the whole house, like 3 foot up, was cut up. So we had drywall that was exposed.
You had to wait.
We had to wait until those support things came down, and it was just like, oh.
So ironically, we did a foundation that was worse than these two just before. So we were 1, 2, 3 in foundation.
Yeah, I saw that.
That one was worse.
Was it?
I think so.
That one was bad.
And I go out there one day, and they literally have I'm an engineer, so I would think, okay, you take off one wall and maybe a corner, and then do that. I went out there; they had it all propped up and all 3 walls removed and all the dirt dug out. I'm like, what's holding the house up? Are you guys serious?
I saw the post, and then I was like, what is holding that house up?
Wind shear. Like if the wind came through, I think it could have just went. But they're telling me it had no chance of doing that.
We went for it.
Yeah, well, my buddy who sold you the houses,
Yeah.
his friend had come up here to help him remove stuff that
Yeah.
they wanted. Because, of course, the house was full of stuff, and you guys took all that, too.
Yeah.
But, he remarked about the fact that he had never seen anybody do that with foundations before. Because he recognized the foundation down there. Heck, it was bowed. I mean, I don't know what kind of arc it had on it, but it was a heck of an arc.
That one was scary to be down in because it was like this thing could fall
Yeah.
in time. Like,
Yeah.
especially if we had a lot of rain that day or
Yeah.
It was like,
I don't know what the...
scary.
Well, being that we have built so many houses, I remember my dad and I built a house one time, and we've learned the wrong way to do things by accident. So this particular house, I don't know if my dad backfilled it wrong or backfilled it too quickly, but the whole wall broke in.
Oh,
the whole entire wall, huge, like 40-foot wall. The house did not fall down though, just the wall shattered in and it sat and sunk.
So it was actually funny because when the mason was over doing that house, to do the really bad wall, he was like, I don't know what's holding this up. And then he ended up discovering that the tree in the back, the roots were what was holding that house up. And it was like, oh my God.
Really?
So the wall came over to the roots, and that's what was stopping it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's nuts.
That yard looks great. I mean, when I went over there before, I'm like, should we take this tree out? Which I felt like we had to take the tree out, but then like the tree was like a $10,000 tree to take out, so we're not taking it out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean, it was ginormous, and the neighbors like
is
begging.
huge.
He's begging us to take it out, and we're like,
Well, why don't you split it with him?
We did talk about it, but when I told him the price, he was like, eh.
Yeah, leave it sit.
did we offer to split it?
We did offer.
You offered it. Wow. What was the cost to take it down? Do you remember?
I think it was around 8,000.
8,000.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing is huge.
I know, I've been back there.
It doesn't look too bad now. It looks actually a lot better.
We trimmed it up and stuff, but that's all the more I was willing to go with it.
But we'll do any of these properties with any realtor out there, and we'll do it within an hour of Carlisle. Personally, I'll go an hour and a half, 2 hours from Carlisle, but Meg seems to have
But not
an issue.
2.5 though, right? To Renova.
Well, we're going to think about it. We're going to get to that in a minute. We're going to talk about that. But no, we really appreciate you doing this with us, and it helps us, and like I said, 50 other people at least.
Yeah, it's great. And I'm, like I said, I have memories in the house, so it was...
I wish you could get them back to sit. If not, you've got them the pictures. So,
Yeah.
but it definitely looks different than when we walk through all the amenities.
Yeah, he would be, he was stunned when he saw the pictures, but when he would come in and see it personally, he would...
Yeah, and it looks as that huge kitchen is pretty.
This was his bedroom right here.
Right here.
Yeah.
Wow.
I actually shrank this bedroom a little bit.
Why?
Yeah, because he had the
Because I wanted
the
to add
bathroom.
a true master bath.
Yeah. Yeah, and it had a window. So it had a window in it originally because that was the outside of the house. And Mr. Carmody, that's who had owned
Yeah.
it before the Carmodys, added that room on himself.
Okay.
But he never put a wall up.
Yeah, it was literally just a brick wall with a big hole in
It was the outside wall.
Was there a window in it still?
No, it was an open window with like shutters or something over top of it. It was grilled.
Oh, so you literally drywalled it over. Yeah, it looks great. Yeah, it still took like a week to sell. Like, I posted on Facebook. I said the market's crashing.
Yeah, it took you 7 days.
It took me like
Not 2.
6. No, it took 6 days. But
Okay.
there wasn't when it got listed, there was like 3 showings, and then like they trickled in. It wasn't like, hey, we had 20 showings.
Right.
So it's the market could be changing slightly, or we put, there's nothing 350 in this development. So I
Right.
think it's a mixture.
Well, and my experience has been recently too, is with the buyers I'm using or helping.
Yeah.
They see a price and they don't expect to pay that price. They expect to pay 10 to 15 grand over that price.
So they're waiting it out a little bit.
So when they see 350 in their minds, they're saying, I'm going to end up paying
360,
365 for this. I can't afford that.
So they wait a day or two.
That's my indication, because I have, like I said, I have a couple of clients now, and she's at a price range of she could go to 200, but she sees something at 195, she won't go look at it because this is going to go to 200, 205.
And on the flip side, they ought to go look at it and do it, because if everyone's thinking that way,
Right.
you might get lucky.
Right. And therefore, not as many people are scheduling, not as many people are offering.
Yeah, a lot of
Maybe
people
not under 200. It's
Yeah,
probably-
well, yeah.
people have that mindset. Oh, that's a nice house. Somebody else is going to get to it.
That is hurting a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, because I can tell you when the rates have gone up, which is she's qualified for X on the payment. Now the rate's at 7.25 or whatever it happens to be. Now the amount that she can look at shrinks.
Yeah.
So now she's got to pull back even a little further.
Yeah.
And then you can't find something that she likes in that price range because the prices have gone up so much.
I agree.
So when she looks at something at 175, she either doesn't like it or she's like, I'm going to have to pay 190 for this, and I don't really like it that much.
Yep.
Do you
And then my
think
paint's
interest rates are going to go down?
If I had that crystal ball, we'd be...
Everybody and their mother says they're going down next year.
I feel like they have to because next year's an election year, and that's the saving grace. Because some people want to stay in the office, so it's like, well, what are you going to do? Lower the interest rates to stimulate the economy. Where on the Republican side, it's like they want in, so they gotta.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, the things that I've read and looked at, I just think that, the Federal Reserve, now it's become a political thing. It's not supposed to be, but,
Yeah.
They're trying to tamp down inflation. Inflation isn't nearly what they're shooting for at 2%.
What is it? Right? I haven't heard. You don't even see it anymore. They don't even talk about it.
Yeah, it's still high, but it's not 8 and 9% like it was earlier or, last year even. But I think they'll pause on the rate hikes. But, like you said, it's an election year, so, they're trying to get Biden reelected. Maybe they start lowering interest rates and, but think about the cycle of that. Okay, so you got a $200,000 house. You have 30 people looking at it. 14 bid on it.
Yeah.
That's right now with rates at 7.25. Do you think that's going to make prices go down if they put the rates down to 5?
No, we're going to go up.
Do you if they lower the rates to 5, are less people going to look? Are less people going to be in the market? So what do you think is going to be the prices of the house? Now the 190 is going to be 220 because now we're back at 5%. It's a cycle that's going to take, in my opinion, years
To undo.
Years.
Well, we'll come back to that. Let's talk a little bit about Airbnb. You're a real estate investor, right?
Yep.
And you have flipped houses. I know you've done that. And you have, do you have any rentals currently other than the ones we're going to talk about in Renovo?
Nothing local.
Okay.
Nothing local.
I'm a real estate investor. I have some Airbnbs and multifamily, and I love talking about Airbnbs and multifamily. And recently, I just saw you posted about some Airbnbs you're doing in Renovo, PA, which is 2.5 hours from here.
It is.
And I said, hey, you don't need to be posting about all these little secrets. And you're like, no, we want to tell everybody what's going on there. And tell us a little bit about why you want to bring this to everyone's attention.
So this town, in my opinion,
yes,
is an absolute gem in the middle of the PA wilds. So if you were an outdoors person, ATVs, hunting, fishing, kayaking, hang gliding, hiking, they've got all kinds of events up there, like these running events. They had this Eastern States 100. These people run, walk, hike 100 miles. Wow. Some guy did it in 22 hours.
Wow.
It's crazy stuff. It's these masochistic people. They have something called the Heiner Challenge, and they run up this mountain, and there's rock fields. It's not like it's a trail they're running up. There's rock fields. So they have these events every year. They've got a rattlesnake hunt up there. These crazy people go out hunting for rattlesnakes. They have, there's a motocross event up in Kettle Creek, I believe it is. And it's called the Rattlesnake Roundup or something like that. And so people come in town for that. So every weekend you can see campers just going through Renovo, going up to the campsites. The elk country is 40 minutes away. You can go see the elk herd in Cinnamahoning or Benazet. So it's just beautiful area. Absolutely gorgeous. And I didn't even know it existed till 2 years ago. Like I didn't know Pennsylvania. I mean, I know you kind of know Pennsylvania's a hunting state and a wilderness state.
Yeah.
But man, I'll tell you get out of this valley and go west, like up northwest like that, it's just gorgeous.
So why do you want other people to know about it? Like, see, typically people get a little secret and they keep it to themselves. So why do you want others to do it?
Because this town needs revitalized. Okay. So the town could be an absolute gem for visitors, for tourists.
Yes.
And it would bring, because the town has no industry.
Okay.
It used to be a big railroad town.
And you think this? Tell them about this 4-wheeler trail that's coming.
So they have ATV trails up there, and once they get these connectors in, you're going to be able to go from Phillipsburg into New York, and on your ATV.
Oh wow!
So there's hundreds and hundreds. I don't know. I'd have to look it up, but I heard there's like 1,200 miles of trails up there. Just an unbelievable amount of trails. So Renova is kind of like the missing link. So there's a trail that comes so far, and it doesn't go into town on the east end of town, and on the west end of town, to get to the trails on the west end of town, there's a missing link. So the state has granted the Central Mountain ATV Association a $1.2 million grant to connect these trails.
Okay.
So ATVing is one of the biggest draws up there. I mean, there's people, and these ATVs and side-by-sides, like they cost 30 grand. These people have money.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't, somebody riding their Enduro up there. I mean, these are people who have maybe 1, 2 of these things.
Yeah.
They got a trailer, they got a truck. Some of them have campers. I mean, there's money there.
Yeah.
And they love to do this, and they do it every weekend. That's what they spend their time and money doing.
So you bought some Airbnbs up there. What did you pay for them?
I paid for the one. It's a commercial building, so it has a retail space downstairs. It's vacant on the one property, and it had an apartment above, 3 bedrooms. We added the bathroom, so now it's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. It is probably 1,400 square feet. I paid 36 grand for it, and then of course we fixed it up. And with all our fix-ups, my whole amount in is about 150.
Yep.
Counting the buying, the closing costs.
Yep.
Some holding costs.
Yep.
I mean, during the renovations. We started renting it in March. Our best month so far was the month of August. We did 23 out of 31 nights.
Wow.
You've got people, it's a small town. They got the small town feel. There's like 800 people that live there. The people are super nice, super friendly. Of course, in a small town, everybody knows everybody's business, so it's kind of funny. There's an interesting dynamic for people talk about people. Oh, this person you trust, this person you don't.
Airbnb is legal in this town, right?
It is absolutely. Matter of fact, that but the people want 2 long-term rentals. It's just unfortunate because you can't get the kind of rents you need. So like I can't put 150 grand into the building and then rent it out for $500 a month and then make any money on it. I can't do it. So I have to do the Airbnb. And then I bought a second property for $46,000, same setup. And these are like 25 foot by 110 foot buildings.
Yep.
They all have 25 foot frontages. So it's a commercial space on Erie Avenue up there, which is the parade route for the Flaming Foliage Festival, which is one of the biggest fall festivals in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And so there's about 800 people in the town. It gets close to 10,000 people in the town on that weekend. They have a parade. It's just like small town.
So the other one's a commercial building as well?
And the other one's a commercial
building
as well.
And you paid out 46 for that one.
How much? With a lot.
How much are you going to have all in on that one when you get it done?
Probably about the same.
150 on both. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
And the commercial space, you did rent the commercial space for what? $850 or?
No, $750.
$750.
Yeah.
Do you think that business will work out?
I do.
And what's the business?
She has, she's put a kitchen in there and a bakery. It's like the town needs places like a brewery would do great in there.
Oh, yeah.
So she saw, a need for a UPS, DHL. Like they don't have FedEx. Like they got to go 30 miles to drop off a package.
So she's doing that there?
Yep, she's got a.
Is she delivering it herself?
No,
or
no,
what?
she
They come.
Yeah, she signed a contract with FedEx, DHL, and UPS, so people can bring their packages there. She's got candy in there for the kids. She's got some video games in there. She's got that game of skill in there. People are going in there playing the gambling games. She's going to be making cinnamon buns and baked goods. Now she has an online presence too, so she sells a lot of stuff online. And then she's encouraging people in town to make stuff, and she will sell it for them. Yeah. So that they can make some money as well. Like I said, there's no industry.
You know what I'm getting out of this conversation? I'm buying a side-by-side and a 4-wheeler. so I can go visit. I'm going to have to spend 50 grand just to go there. Like, I'm not going with a used piece of equipment.
No, you can go. You can rent them. Like we stayed at the Quiet Oaks campground, and they rent them Now they're $400 for the day, which is kind of pricey.
You rented them?
No, my gosh, no.
But you can drive and not see the same trail up there.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like I said, you could drive the whole way to New York if you
Probably
wanted
have to be licensed though, so that's another thing. Got to be licensed, legal.
Yeah, because you do ride like some of the trail connectors are actually on roads.
Yeah.
So you go drive on the road.
So this town has allowed people to drive on the roads.
You can drive on the roads in the town. The problem is they don't have the connector to get out to the greater trails.
Not yet.
But they have the...
You think it's coming?
Oh yeah. I've talked to the guy who runs, Henry Sorgan, I think is his name. He runs the Central Mountain ATV Association, and they're putting it out for bid on...
So are people even listing how... Because I went online and looked, and I couldn't really find anything for sale up there. So could you just walk around and talk to people and you could find some stuff?
Absolutely. I could probably get you...
We could do a mailer. We could do a mailer to the community. You would probably find a few houses.
Listen, you could have...
I still move there now.
Meg, talk to Lauren.
You could have 5 houses under contract in about 2 weeks, probably.
We're doing it.
Oh, great.
So I'm all in on one in Carlisle for $160, and I get like $225 a night.
Okay.
And it does okay. It doesn't set the world on fire.
Yeah.
I don't know if I really want to be all in $150, so I'd like to find a house and not spend as much money.
And that's possible.
Yeah, if I could find a house and get away from the commercial
But I mean, I'm paying a contractor. You guys are doing it. I mean, you're paying
contractors make a lot of money.
You're paying people. I mean, you got payroll to pay, and you
Justin, we don't pay. We're just gonna. He's gonna have to go there for. How long would he have to go there for?
To flip a whole house himself?
Yeah, month.
He'll be there for at least a month. Probably 2.
Can he do drywall?
Well, yeah. So I mean, I'm paying a contractor.
Okay.
To do this stuff.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you sharing this knowledge. So if a couple other people did this and it started to be a thing, you think more and more people would go there and would help the town?
Listen, these people
I like the idea of a brewery too. That's a great idea.
We need my retail space. So the retail space I have rented out to this woman. She came from New York. Mm-hmm. She has a boyfriend now or something. Anyway, so she rented the one space from me, and then she got the idea that she discussed with her boyfriend to put an outdoor store. Like, we wanted a brewery to go in this one place, like pub snacks and stuff. There's a brewery about 7 miles outside of town, in a town called Heiner, which is right on the river. And I was trying to get him to put a shop in there, but it's too close.
Yeah,
7 miles.
Is he doing well?
He's doing well. But, just to show you the prices of his food, they're not for the locals. I mean, it's like $13 for a sandwich, you know what I mean, and a beer. So it's not local price stuff. It's touristy kind of price stuff.
Wow.
And he does pretty well with it.
Road trip.
Yeah, we can definitely take a road trip.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of work going on right now, so we got plenty of time.
I'm good. I'm solid.
Yeah. So I mean, you guys want to go up there, you can stay, and that would be cool. Like, the first thing I would look at, I know it's like we said, it was in the flood zone, because you like to do mega units. So this wouldn't be mega units, but it would be at least, I think there's 24.
Yeah.
So
I don't like flood zone because I got to get a loan.
Yeah.
I'm not like independently wealthy or anything, Greg.
I thought you're throwing all this capital at it. Yeah, well, you could probably get a loan. I mean, some people have had contracts on these things. Yeah. I mean, that they've backed out because that power plant didn't go in.
Okay.
So that's what they were.
Is there a bank in there? Is there any?
There is a bank in town.
I gotta go.
It's the nicest building in town.
Like the population, like how many people live there?
800. That's in Renova, and across the river there's South Renova, which is probably another 800. So there's like 1,600 people in the total area.
Wow.
Like I went 17 miles away to Kettle Creek, my wife and I, and we had dinner because I'd never been to this.
Yeah.
Or Cross Fork, it's called, the Cross Fork Inn. We went in there. And the gal behind the bar asked us, she says, "Oh, what brings you guys in town?" "Oh, we have 2 places in Renova." She goes, "Oh, you're the people doing the Airbnbs." She goes, "Oh, that's great."
Like, how did they know?
And then somebody was playing one of the games, turned around, and he looks at me and he goes, "Yeah, I've seen your places, man. Thanks for coming in town." He goes, "That's great." There must have been 3 or 4 people.
Is there not many in town, Airbnbs?
There's a few, but not many. But that the town is kind of old. like the people, the population.
Yeah.
A lot of them are old, but so it's kind of turning over. But that's what you got to get the influx of the tourists in there, because I think the town, it's like the gateway to this beautiful area out there. I mean, it really is. Like I said, the elk herd, you can go out to the elk herd.
I've been we owned land in Coudersport, and we went up there a few times, and I don't know where this is in relation, but every time I went there on this farm, I felt like I was in heaven.
Yeah, the Coudersport Pike is just up, like over the mountain from Renault.
Now, of course, I never have time. With having kids and stuff, I never had time to go see it. So, we ended up selling it.
Yeah, so there's a town called Haneyville, which is up over the mountain. Go on Facebook, look at Mountaintop and Mountaintop Provisions. This guy has done a fabulous job. He's really got it going on up there. He has an outdoor venue with bands. So a gal who is actually going to Nashville was singing up there last weekend or 2 weekends ago. So they have music out there every weekend during the summer. It's just it's a huge, like these people in the ATVs ride their ATVs or motorcycles into town or into this bar. And, it's an outdoor venue. It's, they'll do the music from like 5 to 8. They don't do it real late.
Wow.
But, the guy is killing it. He's just absolutely killing it. The place gets packed with stuff. And it's on the Coudersport Pike is what it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the town's Haneyville. But.
Well, thanks for your input on Airbnbs in Renovo, Pennsylvania. I think I'm going to check it out. So let's finish up by talking a little bit about, so you're a full-time realtor here in Central PA.
Yep.
And you've been for how long?
Well, I started with you in 16, I guess.
16. So now seven-ish years. So what do you think of the market right now? How do you feel things are going? Give us the state of the market as the way you see and feel right now.
Well, my perception of it is right now, if you're a listing agent, you're probably doing very, very well. So you got to concentrate on trying to get listings. Yep. Buyers are just real tough. Because they get discouraged real easily.
Yep.
You got to show them a bunch of houses. I'm sure your agents have remarked about this. I talk to everybody. Somebody who wants, $6,000 seller help on an FHA loan with 3.5% down and modest credit scores. Tough.
My team is starting to get some FHA, VA, and I heard 1 or 2 got some seller help recently. So if you're persistent and you keep fighting through, I think those strong agents. We have a younger agent on our team that got 9 houses under contract this month.
Wow, nice.
9.
That's good.
And she just became a realtor within the last year.
Yeah.
And she works for us. So she's full-time job and just sold 9 houses. She's killing it.
Yeah, she is.
But we're seeing some other people on the team getting some deals done that they haven't been able to get done in a while. And I don't know if it's because people were on vacation this month. But us older agents get a little frustrated with the market because it is about as hard as it gets right now.
Yeah, well, somebody who's new doesn't have the previous experience. Like my first year in the business with you, I sold 26 houses. And I haven't sold that many since.
Well, there might be a reason to that. Come on back.
There's might be. But it's the market has changed dramatically. It really, when I was working with you, they're generating leads, and you just smile and dial. You just call the people up.
Yeah.
But, I think, too, a lot of that has changed. Like, people aren't answering the phone. Everybody's got the ID. I don't know that number. I'm not calling.
Yeah.
I'm not answering that. Then you leave a message, and then they don't return a call.
Yeah.
And so it just becomes more and more challenging to get a hold of buyers, even though they're looking.
Yeah.
And they want to. And then I get the buyers of, well, I'm going to wait till interest rate drops. I'm gonna wait till the market improves. I'm like, listen, people in 2016 were saying that. Look at what the market's done. Don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait.
Yeah.
So, you still try to encourage them to buy because, this house was purchased for $15,000 back in 1960 something.
It just keeps going. It just keeps going.
It just does. Other than that blip we had in 08.
Yep. But we then surpassed that.
Yeah.
Like, if you bought in 08 and you told her, well, you paid way too much, or 06, that 06 range, they paid the top of the market, and they never thought they would get that amount again. Well, sure enough, we've surpassed that by far.
Exactly. So it's come back
And
dramatically.
even if we have a small dip at some point, which I'm assuming it's going to happen, maybe. What do you think? Or do you think there's
I think it'll flatten. Like, I don't think it's gonna, but it's an inventory issue.
So we haven't built. So in the last 12 years, we have not built near enough houses to keep up with demand.
Yeah.
And anyone that has a 3% rate, do you think they're selling?
I'm not.
I'm not.
I looked at downsizing.
You can't.
I'm not. I can't do it. I got a 2.9.
There's no benefit. So
Yeah, I got a 2.99. I got a 2.99 rate. And I shortened the term.
Yeah. My wife wanted to move like last week. We were looking to move, and we went looking at a few houses, and I said, okay, we can get $850 for our house. We go buy something for $700. It still doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I would have to cut the size of my house in half, not have nearly as much, and pay more than what I paid for my house.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we're like in a silent depression, for lack of a better term, because like everything is skyrocketed in price, but we're in this huge problem where it's like people can't afford to move, they can't afford to buy. We have high interest rates, we have a shortage of houses, and our wages aren't going up. So it's like, how are people doing all
Yeah, the
this?
confluence is just, that's why I said it's going to take, in my opinion, it'll take years. Look, the economy and this type of market or whatever, real estate, whatever it is, it's like a giant ship. You're on a little boat, you can make a quick turn. You're on an aircraft carrier, I mean, and this economy is so, it's not it's not 4 months from now, everything's going to be good.
Yeah.
It'll take years. Literally, it'll take years. It's taken years to get here. So
I used to build 2 or 3 houses at a time, all the time, like for the last couple of years. And we struggled to find a lot the last 4 or 5 months. Mm-hmm. We did just buy one. So I'm building less houses. Builders are building because materials have gotten so expensive.
Yeah.
When you build the house, like if I'm building and typically the houses under 350 aren't even worth building because there's no profit in them. So we have to build something that's 450 and up.
Yeah.
So I found a lot in Carlisle for $75,000. We're going to have to sell this between $460 and $490. At $460, we make minimum. At $480, $490, we do well on it. But the chances of us getting that number are slim.
And you're not really helping the first-time homebuyer market because that's not usually a first-time homebuyer price.
No,
range.
they're in trouble.
So they're not building $200,000 houses.
Can't.
You can't.
No.
You just can't do it. So where are you going to get a $200,000 house? Well, the person that has the $200,000 house has to move into the one you're building.
Yep.
And sell theirs. Well, they're sitting at 3%. Now I'm going to go double the mortgage and pay 7.25%. I think I'll just sit here.
Yeah.
And
we need more foreclosures or something to happen to make prices come down, and that's not we haven't seen it yet.
No, they're not coming down. I mean, they're just going to flatten.
Yeah.
They just won't go up as much as fast.
But the affordability factor is off the charts.
Yeah, it is.
And renting has gotten over the top too.
Yeah, I know.
Have you seen what things are renting for?
Yeah, I'm like seeing $1,400 for stuff.
Meg rents hers for more than anybody, by the way.
Hey, you gotta push.
So Meg has 42 of her own rentals.
Nice.
42.
Yeah.
She rents her one bedrooms for like $1,100.
Tried to, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
That's in Carlisle. I can't imagine what they are down in Mechanicsburg and Cumberland Valley.
Yeah,
if you can even find a rental.
Yeah, exactly. I'm seeing posts all the time. Anybody have a rental, preferably under $1,600?
Preferably under 16.
Yeah,
But the cost to build more rentals, like I would like to build rentals or do some of that, but the cost to build, the cost to develop, it's just getting harder and harder.
Oh yeah, I know. That's why I said I think it's going to take years for it to. We've been looking at real estate down in Florida for let's see, since 2021, January 2021.
You should have bought in 2021.
Don't you make me. I understand. I've already regretted not doing that.
We should have bought our second homes when second homes were 3.25%. The ability to get the loans were way easier. Now it's a lot harder to get a second home loan.
We looked at a 3-bedroom, 2-bath condo in a complex called Lexington Country Club with a golf community, championship golf course it's a country club, so it has a nice facility, tiki bars, 6 pools, gated community. This place had been on the market for over a year. It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, about 1,500 square foot, $215 they wanted for it. Now it needed some updating, and I just wasn't ready to pull the trigger yet to buy that. Those things now are selling for $365.
Wow.
Close to $400. And it's only 2 years later.
So you could have moved down there, started selling down there, golfed.
Yeah. Well, my wife will never leave the grandkids, so that's
okay.
We'll just have to be snowbirds.
Okay.
But I can rent that out too, because they allow you, because there's actually a hospital complex across the street that physicians come in to do internships.
Okay.
So, you know, during the summer, it's not like they do internships only in the winter months. Of course, the winter months are the big rental months. But I could still get enough of it. I could probably get at least over the summer months to cover my, you know, the HOA fees and stuff
100%,
like that.
yeah.
So that would be the investment down
I
there.
want to buy in Florida, but I'm worried about the flood insurance rates because they've really gone through the roof.
Yeah. Well, this has, of course, it's a condo complex, so they have a master policy.
Even though everything's doubled
Yeah, I'm sure that's all gone up too, but
because of all the floods down there. Meg wants a beach house. She wants to buy a beach house, a boat. She's got a lot of...
I have a big wish list right now.
She's too frugal.
I'm trying to knock some things off. On
She saves too much
well, she
cash.
owes, what did you say, 11 rentals?
42.
42. Oh, 1,100 is what you're getting for that.
Yeah, 42
rentals.
42 rentals.
That doesn't sound too frugal. Sounds like a good investment.
I mean, I don't
No, she
spend-
lives in one of them, but she doesn't. She won't buy a house. She won't. Doesn't have a place with a garage.
Well, she owns the place she's living in. That's like
It's
owning a
fine,
house.
but every week she's sending me a text. Hey, Rob, I want to buy a beach house. I want to buy this. She has her whole goals, and we have to talk about it every single week. We talk about it,
Well,
but she
The
won't
more you
do
talk
it.
about it, the more you think about it, the more then it like becomes a thing, and then you put it into action.
Yeah, I'm just worried I'm gonna have to talk about it for 7 to 10 years on a weekly basis.
well, she's young yet.
She's 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 30.
Yeah, you'll hit that in no time.
It's the goal.
My wife retires October 31st, so
Oh, congrats!
then we're going to do a little traveling.
You're gonna do more traveling too.
Yeah.
Well, your buddy, your one lender, he retired, right? How's he enjoying? How's
Paul.
he enjoying himself?
Yeah, good. Real good.
You still keep in touch with him?
Oh, yeah. We have breakfast probably every couple of weeks. We'll have breakfast. We play golf.
So when your wife retires, what kind of places do you want to go?
I just like to do a lot of day trips or overnighters, at least for a while. But we have a camper,
Yeah.
so I want to, go some places in the camper. But there's just
Well, out of
out west.
season, you could always go to our beach house too if you want to go down to the beach for a day.
absolutely. Yeah, that'd be awesome. But like we want to go out west.
Yep.
Never spent any time out there. I've been kind of there, but I've been in Denver, short time.
It's awesome.
It's just beautiful.
Got to go to Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
Yeah, so originally we thought, okay, we'll take the camper and do that trip.
Yeah.
Well, I got to fill my tank up every 2 hours, and it's like $80 to $90, and depending on where you are, of course. I mean, so every 2 hours, so like for a 5-hour drive, it's just 100. Then you got $160, and then you got to pay to put the camper up, and you got to set it up, and I'm like, maybe we'll just rent a car and stay in a hotel.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. We'll just, depending on what type of experience we want to have,
Awesome.
the camping piece or whatever. So,
Well, we appreciate working with you, and if you know of anybody or have any more leads, we'd be more than happy to talk.
oh yeah, absolutely, all the time. This is actually easier. I'd rather just,
Yeah.
maybe dig them up and then here, you guys do it.
We need the work. So, hey, thank you, Greg. Appreciate it
All
very
right,
much.
appreciate it. Thanks.